Hello, hello, and welcome, Christina. It's great to have you here today. And I want to say hi to everyone in the chat, people who have shown up already. Let's see. We've got Dawn from Scrapbook Sage, who actually is going to be a guest in the new year. I don't think we've nailed down a date yet. And Teresa is here, of course, and Carol. We'll wait a few minutes for a few more people to show up, but it's Junk Journal Joanne is here. So actually, she's up next week as a guest. Yeah. I just realized that I had sent the December schedule to Susan, and I totally love it. Do you use her or know of her site?
I do. She's absolutely fantastic. The scrapbooking or the Junk Journal World News. Yes.
So yeah, I sent her the schedule, but I forgot to post it on my own channel. We've got Beth here from Happy Place Crafting, and Denise, and Terry, and Judy G Junk Journals. Okay, this is somebody new. Curiously, Michelle, is this one of your people?
Hi, Michelle. I know Michelle.
Well, fantastic. Welcome, Michelle. And Hope Smith is here. Anyway, this is a pleasure for me to be able to interview you today. I think your name was first mentioned in my presence by Gwen the Trash Witch.
Okay.
It seems to me that you guys are kind of connected, are you not?
Yeah, I think we kind of participate and have the same group and move in the same circles. So yeah, but Gwen is fantastic, and I like to do flip through Fridays with her. So
yeah, that's a great hashtag. And of course, I don't know if you saw Gwen's interview with me a few weeks ago, but she was awesome.
Oh, she's so wonderful. She really is. She's just a sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, for anyone who's looking at Christina's backdrop there, you don't need to go to the optometrist. Those are actually little sparkly, well, they're lights, I guess, that are being, and some colored things that are being projected onto your ceiling, right?
Yes. So my partner, my IT guy, is big on making sure we have a well-lit house. So he has provided us with sparkles.
So is that sort of like almost like Christmas lights where it's programmable through a range of colors and so on?
I believe this one is, yes. But he has changed out all the light bulbs in the house, so you can change them to whatever color you want. So there's smart ones. Cool. Get on your phone and have blue, red and green lights for Christmas, and purple and orange for Halloween, and all these fun things. So it's fun and dramatic.
Well, and I think the best part is that he's doing it. Like if some of this stuff had to wait for me to happen, it would, we also have Carmen's Crafty Creations here. So is Carmen someone that you're connected with, or is she just here?
Maybe she's new.
Well, welcome, Carmen. So let's get into this. Tell me a bit about the origin of your channel and how you arrived at the name of your channel. I have to say, as I've been doing research, I don't think I've seen any stitchery yet. Is that something you intend to focus on, or did I just not get to those videos?
I mean, I do some sewing, not like usually on paper. It's usually junk journals, sewing. I knit a lot. I don't really necessarily plan on knitting on my channel because I think that would be kind of, I don't know. I like it because it's meditative and repetitive, but maybe not great YouTube. Um, although people crochet and knit on and chat, so maybe it's good for lives. I don't know. Maybe I should be doing that now. Um,
So
no,
how old is the channel?
so I started March 28th, so of this year. So
Oh, you're
yeah,
practically a baby.
I am. And I just kind of hit the ground running and started posting videos once I figured out what I was doing. Or I guess I'm still figuring out what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I had to figure out a channel name. So I asked, my
Bo,
IT guy, yes. And he's
aka
usually,
Bo.
yes, he's usually good about coming up with names for things. And he gave me like 5, and I just picked the one that I liked the best. So,
Well, very good. And I feel like I know Bo because there was quite a bit of setup and trial and error before we got this kind of all figured out. We had to worry about a little glare and a little, whatever, whatever. It did appear that Christina had done a somersault a couple of times, but I can't promise that she's going to do it again for you guys. So,
well,
tough
let's hope
luck.
not.
Oh, and Gigi is here. Hi, Gigi. Um, so were you a crafty? Okay, you said that you knit a lot. Were you a crafty person all your life? Did you learn
um,
something at the knees of your mother or grandmother?
my mom used to crochet, and my aunt used to crochet, and my grandparents did. I taught myself when I was in high school how to crochet because the stuff was around. They didn't really teach me. I mean, I kind of had to go off on my own. Maybe it's because I'm left-handed, so it'd be hard anyway. I don't
Oh,
know. But I did, and yeah, but I've always loved books, and then I got interested in making books and
yeah.
scrapbooking, and but these are all things that I pretty much taught myself. My mom's not too crafty. She works really hard, but she doesn't really have time for crafting.
Yeah.
Other cooking for everybody, I guess that kind of counts.
Well,
So,
and different people have different outlets and express their creativity in different ways. Goodness knows if we had to rely on my creativity as a cook, it would be pretty slim pickings. So, I think well, number one, that tells me a lot about how you're kind of a go-getter. Like, a lot of people kind of throw up their hands and say, "Well, I don't know how to do whatever," and express no ambition or interest in figuring it out. So, I think kudos to you for figuring these things out.
yeah.
I noticed on your oh, I think we have someone else new here. Designed by Tunder.
Oh, Tunder's here. Hi, Tunder.
Well,
Yeah.
welcome. It looks like you have a little bit of a fan club going here. And Sandra is here from Blossom and Inspire. Susan is here. Probably her ears were burning because we were talking about her. Um, anyway, yes, I did notice in your videos that you are left-handed, and I don't know if you're, not that it matters, but I don't know. You might be the first left-handed person I'm interviewing. So,
Oh,
are
okay.
there any special challenges? Like I know scissors can be a problem, but are there, or by the time, if you've lived this long as a lefty, you've made all the compensation and adjustments you've needed to do to make things work?
I mean, I do think that like I've had like at work because I do microbiology for work, and so I've had interns and I've had to show people how to do things, and I always set up my workstations like everything's backwards. So you have people and you're showing them how to do something, and then it's super awkward for them because I've shown them backwards and everything's backwards, and so there's kind of this extra. But I mean, for me, I just set everything up, where it's
Makes
convenient.
sense. Yeah.
Things aren't too bad. Sometimes I think some things are kind of weird, like scissors. Um, But most things are multi-directional, I guess. So it's not too much of a bother for me. But
I like
other
how
people that I teach kind of have problems with it sometimes. And so I have to be like, it's okay. You're not as awkward as you think you are.
I kind of like the way you slipped that in very nonchalantly and very. I do microbiology, so like you better tell us a bit about that because this is news to me.
Oh, well, I have a degree in chemistry. I got it at the
Okay,
University of
the interview is over. I have nothing more to say to you. Chemistry? Yuck!
Chemistry. Yes.
Yuck! Yuck! Double yuck!
I mean, I've worked in microbiology for about 20 years. I've kind of transitioned recently into doing grant work part time, so it's a little bit different and a little bit easier and a lot more administration. But um, meh, you know,
Okay, so what is the okay? So when you say grant work, obviously wherever you work, they were successful in getting a grant. So is this always medical related?
um,
Microbiology, is it always medical related, or could it be another field of interest?
it's usually well, let's see. So I started out in a research lab where they were doing more like research stuff than like clinical stuff. And then I kind of transitioned more into a clinical role. And then I went back to research, but more like clinical research. So closely tied to like, medical stuff and how bacteria affect, humans. But um, but I started out in kind of really a research role where we were using microbiology to, um, like E. coli, to grow proteins. So,
It almost sounds like you're a little cagey there. Like if you told us the real thing that you're working on, you'd have to kill us all because it's top secret or something.
no, 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 no. I just,
Nothing,
this
nothing
isn't like, I
proprietary
don't
going
think
on.
that people like necessarily came here like prepared to listen to me go off on like, so I'm trying not to go too far down the rabbit hole, I guess.
Well, yes, but
Um,
we also are here to learn something too. So hey, I think that's fair game. Joanne is saying I'm pretty ambidextrous, but apparently I favored my left hand when I was very little, and my parents taught me to focus more on using my right hand. I've also heard horror stories about teachers. Maybe this was back in the dark ages, were actually disciplining children and forcing them to use their right hand.
yeah, that has never happened to me. But I mean, I was told that like my parents, my mom always said that like that was really highly discouraged, and my dad too. So, but they let me do whatever I wanted, so I was always kind of
Well,
encouraged to
and I
go out
also
there and
think
do things.
that after people have a better understanding of the world, they stop trying to change things that there's nothing wrong with being left-handed. So stop trying to mold people into another thing. Before we lose sight of it, Teresa said that in chemistry uh, she set things on fire in chemistry class. So good thing she's not in your lab.
That's exciting. I've
And
been in labs where people have blown things up, so that's fun.
And she said she also got a D, and for a straight A student, she wasn't
Oh,
very happy.
I wonder
Judy
why.
brought down her average. Judy says physics was my nemesis. I barely passed with 55%. Only took it 1 year, and that was enough for me. Oh, and Mama Juju is here. April, hi, great to have you here.
Hi, April.
Oh, and then Teresa says that she babysat a boy whose mom forced him to use his right hand, and he suffered severe migraines. When they figured it out, the migraines went away. So
Really?
I
Oh my
guess
god.
probably maybe the stress of the pressure.
Yeah.
Um, so we do know that you started your channel in March,
Mhm.
and you have, I think when I was watching those videos, about 350 or so subscribers. So
Yes.
hopefully before today is over, we're going to get that number up a little higher, unless all of these people already have subscribed, in which case, I'm sorry. And of course, also want to acknowledge that a lot of people do watch the replays because they can't be here in person.
Yes.
So, I have to say that one of the favorite videos that I saw of yours was when and I can't remember the hashtag or whose challenge it was. Maybe it was your own thing when
Okay.
you did those chickens.
Oh, the chickens. Yes, that's Lori June's hashtag.
So,
Um, at sarcastically 60 something, and she does
okay.
art journal bonus prompt 2526. Yes. And I would not have done chickens except for she did a prompt that was chickens. Yes. And yeah, and I love Lori June. She is fantastic and she's super nice and very creative. And I really enjoy her channel. She does fabulous walks. She's in Michigan. And so you can go and watch her do walks with her dogs, and it's very relaxing and nice. Um,
Does that count as aerobic activity for those of us who are just watching her walk?
I think
No.
you can post a hashtag and post your own walks. Um,
So, I think I probably need to add her to my wish list of guests.
that
I
would be fantastic. I would love to see an interview with her. So,
I think that what people who are watching this need to say or need to do is find that video and see how Christina just created these three very these chickens that were just loaded with personality and, dare I say, attitude.
they have some attitude for sure. I feel like there's definitely a story behind these three chickens. So, they have the one friend who's kind of talking away, and the other two friends, I mean, just the looks on their faces. I mean, they think they've heard everything she had to say before. And
Reminds you of some women, you know?
here she goes again.
And we have someone new here, Lisa Pruitt.
Oh, I know her. Yes. Hi,
Oh,
Lisa.
welcome, Lisa.
Yes.
And of course, Carol, one of our moderators here, loves chickens. And she says she's going to be all over that chicken video.
Yeah.
Quack, quack.
Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think.
Um, I don't often do it, but in your case, I did click on the link to your Etsy shop. And
Okay.
of course, like anybody who started out with an Etsy shop, you've probably discovered it's harder than you think to get noticed and make sales and all of that. I
Yes.
noticed that you had a couple of digitals, and
I
I
do.
have I have never um, I've never shied away from giving unsolicited advice. So
Okay.
what I would like to suggest that you consider is digitizing that chicken thing, especially the right hand side of the spread. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think for people who love chickens or people who love fun, whimsical
Yes.
things,
Yes.
that might, and of course, maybe one page in itself doesn't do anything unless it's a freebie.
Well,
Um,
I do
but
have freebies on my Ko-fi shop and stuff. So,
okay. Oh, see, I didn't go there.
no, that's a
Um,
very good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, because of course, if it's your own creation, you can do
Mhm.
it, and the copyright police aren't coming to get you.
No, I am the copyright. So,
Yes, exactly. So that chicken spread said to me that you obviously have either some art training or are fearless or have been drawing and painting for a lot of your life. So which is it?
I think I've just been drawing and painting, but I haven't had any formal training. Um, about 10 years ago, I was looking for something to do, and I found on Meetup. I don't know if you know Meetup or not, but it's just people in the local area who have things doing that they're doing. And I found this woman, and this is back when I lived in Seattle, and she was doing art journaling, and I'd never heard of art journaling before, but I was like, but I, you know, I was scrapbooking, and I had all the scrapbooking things, and I was like, okay, well, let's sign up. And she was just running these classes out of a coffee shop. And so I signed up and I started going to that, and she taught a lot about like painting and background. And that's kind of how I got into like this art journaling. And then I started taking a class with I found it on Facebook, I think, but it was Willow, and her name is, it's gonna slide out of my, it's like Willow and Friends is her thing. She did art journaling, so she'd teach you like to draw faces, and she does a lot of whimsical girls.
Oh,
And
are you talking
no,
about wait,
yes,
Tamara
Tamara Lepore. Yeah.
Willowing Arts
Yes,
in the
yeah,
UK? Yeah.
yes, exactly. You know her. And so
Yeah.
I took some classes with her. Other than that, I think I'd like just taken like an art class in high school when I was
Yeah.
like in the ninth grade.
Yeah.
Um,
But you definitely have some talent, and you've got the concepts about shading and so on. So I thought it was really good.
yeah, yeah.
Uh Carol is saying, don't say chicken spread again. It's almost dinner time here. Making me hungry. Oh dear. So that um so maybe explain, because honestly I cannot for love or money keep up with all these challenges. And I was going to ask you about one that I have seen across a million channels. Don't know whose it is or where it started or what, the name doesn't necessarily make any sense to me. And I
Okay.
think it's called 50 Stack.
The 50 stack challenge.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
is that?
So, okay. So, Amy at Crafty Cat is the person who did this.
Okay.
And so, this is on the 7th iteration of it. And it goes for like 6 months at a time, because it's like 50 pieces of ephemera that you make every week. Well, not every week, sorry. Over the 25 weeks. So, you make 2 every week. And
Okay.
then you go for like, 25 weeks. And I haven't done it before. This is the first one that I started. Like, we just got to the halfway point anyway. And
And she provides prompts.
she provides prompts, and it's a weekly challenge. So she puts them out every Monday, and she pulls them out of a paper bag. So she has them all in the paper bag. I don't know how she picks the prompts, but they're all in a paper bag beforehand, and she pulls 2 every week, and those are the 2 prompts. So
Yeah.
this week it is hole punch and tag. So those are the 2 this week. So the way she started it, and how it started was she had a pad of like 50 guest checks.
Oh,
And
okay.
so, yeah, and she just decided she was going to make them all into ephemera. So that was the first one. And now I think she's just does any 2 pieces of ephemera that are responding to the 2 prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I decided I liked the idea of having a stack of kind of the same thing. So I'm doing 50 journal tags, or
Okay.
journaling cards,
Yeah.
which has been fun to do.
So, Miss Biologist, if I'm assuming you work full time, how and when do you fit in crafting and video making?
That's a very good question. I so I started this because I lost my job in March. So I was unemployed, and I've been very fortunate that I've gone to like part time now. So
Okay.
um, yes, but we had some funding issues, and so I lost my position where I was working full time. And I have since transitioned to something a little bit less stressful as well. So, and I'm only working 20 hours a week. So I have more time for doing the things that I really like to do. So,
Yeah, and that don't involve microscopes.
yeah.
Um, I think that most of us can attest to the fact that sometimes things happen to us in our lives that seem tragic or insurmountable or oh my goodness, what next? And then in hindsight turn out to be blessings in disguise. Would you say that is the case, or are you hoping to get back to full-time work? Or do you have the best of both worlds right now?
This is really kind of where I want to be. So, um, I really kind of want to focus in on over the next couple of years building a business that's kind of sustainable, um, out of my creative business. So I'm not real sure how I'm gonna pull that off at this point, but I'm pretty happy with like where things are with the YouTube channel and getting to create things and see where those things go. And so, yes, it has really been a blessing because it's really kind of prompted me to look at trying to start a business and um, see if I can make that work. And then, I mean, the part time job that I have is, I mean, we I'm giving money, like we have grant money, which we give to nursing students to like help them pay for their tuition and fees and provide them with internships to help them transition into the workforce. So I think that that's absolutely wonderful. And I'm so happy to be involved with that and bring all these professional skills that I've been building and also kind of learn new ones. So I'm really happy about being in that position as well. And so it's just been really great to kind of try something new, even though it's like scary and I wouldn't have just jumped at this without, um,
Being
voluntarily.
forced.
Yeah,
Yeah.
being pushed a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And that's
Yeah.
what I mean. And so Lisa said things happen and you think, why? And then you see what God has planned all along.
Yes.
I want to say hi to Jonna, the preppy crafty girl. And then, of course, Judy had asked where you're from. And before I could ask you the question, Carol put in there that you're from Memphis. And now Jonna says, what? Memphis? I need to get together with her because she's close by. So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So it sounds like there might be a coffee date coming up or something.
Absolutely.
Um, so this is all good. This is what this is all about. Um, yeah, I think that it seems to me that you have the right attitude. I hope that you're realistic enough to know that success doesn't seem to happen overnight for most of us. you know,
I,
it's a slog. It's a
I
slog.
keep checking my analytics, and I have learned at this point that it's probably, not going to be one video that's going to like make me go viral here at this
Yeah.
point.
The common, I don't know how to even describe it, but that whole conventional wisdom that, oh, it's the hardest to get to 1,000 subscribers, and after that it's a piece of cake. Well, no, it is hard to get to 1,000, but it's still hard after 1,000. Oh dear. So yeah, I
Yeah.
guess it's hanging in there.
Well, and you ask about the Etsy store, and I had stepped into this thinking, I liked to watch Pam at the Paper Outpost because I loved her like
Yeah.
whole thing, and it was great. I would watch her, and she's so like, oh, this is like, anybody can do this, everybody should do this, and I'm like, yes, yes, and she's so just welcoming and encouraging and
Yes.
wonderful. Yes. And I was like, yeah, and I see what she does. And she just posts her journals on Etsy and they get bought up, and it seems really easy, right? And then I
Yeah.
was like, and then I realized that no. But I do have kind of some idea of like the things I need to do and the things that I would like to do and add to, my YouTube
Yeah.
business. So yes, I'm not just putting all my, eggs in one basket.
Well, and the other thing to remember, and of course, if there's anybody new in the audience or watching this on replay, um, the reason that we see the Pams of uh, this world is because of algorithms, and because when you have close to 200,000 subscribers, you're automatically going to show up there. And I think we've all discovered Pam in the early days, and others like Gail Augustinelli, uh, Rachel at Roxy Creations, Tina Shabby Dabby Doodah, the big names.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that these ladies are, they've introduced a lot of people to the whole idea of doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I sometimes wonder if any of them remember what it was like to be a nobody and to be starting out and hoping you hit 25 subscribers.
Yeah,
I would want to ask that questions.
that would be interesting. You should
Joanne
send them an
says,
email, Hazel, and ask them to come on, and you can ask them.
yeah. Joanne says, I try not to watch the numbers because it's like the adage, a watched pot never boils.
Yes, yes. Um, I have not been as bad lately as I was for a while.
Yeah.
Um, there have been a couple videos where I posted them and I was like on there like every 5 minutes going, how is it doing? How is it doing? How is it doing? Yeah, yeah. But it's I
And
could
I
be doing
think,
something else.
yeah, I think the thing that is maddening is how, without consultation or warning, YouTube keeps changing the rules of the game. And it's just so annoying to me. And I don't want to turn this into a rant, but honestly, it's so annoying the way they handle comments and how much harder it is to interact.
Mm-hmm.
Just drives me nuts. Drives
Yeah.
me nuts.
Yes.
Um,
And yeah, and sometimes it's like not even really clear they're doing stuff, but it's not really, I don't know, do they put out information about what they're even changing? I mean, so, and then who has time to keep up with all of that when you're trying to put out videos, man? I have
exactly.
videos to edit.
And
Yes.
another thing that drives me crazy, and it is happening on your channel. My understanding of when a channel gets monetized is that it's a formula based on watch hours and subscribers
Mm-hmm.
and shorts if you do shorts. So the threshold is 1,000 subscribers,
Mm-hmm.
and yet there are ads on your videos. So how the heck is that happening?
Well, that money's not coming to me, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So how does this happen? And you're not the only one it's happening to. So
Yes.
it just makes me wonder.
Well, yeah, I try to be mindful of that, and so I know that, and I'll just put this out there that like if I'm watching a channel and they're under 1,000 subscribers, I don't watch the ads. But if they're over 1,000, then, or if I know that they're monetized, then I try to like watch at least 30 seconds of ads, um, so that they get some of that revenue. But I don't worry about it if they're under that because
Oh yeah.
it doesn't go to them. So as a viewer, that's kind of what I try to do. But
Yeah, Lisa is saying, um, Hazel, great wisdom on those going before us as women, thinking about how we can support and lift other women up. Exactly. Uh, and then your line about that money isn't coming to me. A great quote. Oh, and we have Barbie Daly has joined us as well. Barbie is going to be a guest, actually the last guest on Heart to Heart in 2026. And then we'll be taking a little Christmas break. But so welcome, Barbie.
Barbie has very interesting channel. Yes, and she does.
I think Gwen turned me on to her too, or is it you? Maybe it was you.
It might have been Gwen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gwen is our new best friend, I think.
I think so. Yes.
So I was watching a video that you did on works in progress, and you went through a lot of very beautiful, I thought, journals.
Thank you.
And I thought that you were kind of hard on yourself. And
Oh,
I
you.
know some of us are kind of have a self-deprecating sense of humor. We want to, whether it's genuine or whether it's an act, we kind of maybe are protecting ourselves a little bit by protecting ourselves from criticism. Like if we knock our own stuff, then no one else's comments can hurt us or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Sometimes I just do it for the laugh, to be honest. But I was thinking that I didn't agree with any of those negative things that you said about yourself or your project. So quit it. Knock
Okay.
it off.
Okay. I'll have to watch that again and see what I was
Well,
saying because
I
I'm
mean,
like,
uh,
um,
it's like the pot calling the kettle black. I do it too. I'm harder on myself than I would be on anyone else, and I think that's probably, kind of you were just expressing maybe some disappointment in yourself that you had started these things and not finished them. But who among us hasn't done that? And if anyone knows that person, please, I want to know that. I want to interview them because we all do it.
oh, it's very fun to start something new, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I get so excited to like, oh, it's just I need a new journal. And yes. And then
But yours are, there's a depth to them and a wisdom to them that I think is like you had. The other thing that I noticed, these thoughts are related, is that you kept referring to the classes you've taken. I'm thinking, this is a girl after my own heart. She believes in investing in herself.
yes.
And I also want to tell you, because you may not believe me, and I've talked about this on my channel before, Barbara Sher, Sher, has written a book called Refuse to well, she's written many books, and I don't even know if she's still alive, to be honest, but she wrote a book called Refuse to Choose. I found out about this book probably a couple decades ago, and it was life altering because I always thought that I was a weirdo and that there was something wrong with me, that I would start things
Uh-huh.
and then move on to something else and then move on to something else. Well, it turns out that according to her, we're hardwired, our brains are hardwired differently than other people. And instead of devoting, say, a career, 40 years of finding out what about those bacteria, we are interested in multiple things, but to less deep degrees.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
she says that when we start beating up on ourselves for not finishing something, or why do I start things and why am I not like Joe Blow and why didn't I pick a career and stay there for 30 years, that we should stop it because we get as much out of a particular activity or interest as we need to. And when we are satisfied inside, we go on to the next thing because we are curious. We want to learn. We want to know. We want to do. We want to try. Not
Mhm.
everything works for us, but I'm telling you, you could very well be one of those people too. And I think knowing that about oneself is just like a light bulb coming on, and I stopped believing that I was weird and I embraced it. And I
Yes.
think we who have the privilege of working for ourselves, um, whether we make any money or not, but we have the privilege of structuring our own day. We never get into that place where we want to, poke ourselves in the eye with a sharp stick because we're so damn bored.
No, that is true. There is always like I have like right now probably 50 things I would like to do, and it's hard to choose which one to do. Um, and so let me ask you, but like, you skip around from thing to thing, but sometimes I find a thing, and when I find that thing, I just like I
It
know what
consumes.
to do with it. And yeah, and it's like I can't stop until it's done and it's kind of played its way out. Um, so do you find that that's true too? Because those are the really interesting things where you like get something and maybe it's like a short thing or a small thing, but or maybe it's like a much longer thing. But
I I think that her premise is that it doesn't matter how, I think, well, just to back up, I think that people like us have been criticized over time as being, you know, jack of all trades, master of none, malingers, dilettantes,
yes,
um, things like that. As instead of being almost like Renaissance women, in
yeah.
that, people have broad interests in many things.
Mhm.
So I think her thinking is that it matters less how long you actually spend delving in a certain area or interest than it does, the fact that when you've lost interest,
You move on.
you move on because you got what you needed to get.
Yes. So
So
it's a
I
good thing to
think
remember. Mhm.
Judy says being retired is the best job I've ever had. Oh, and Trish is here.
Hi, Trish.
Uh, Hey, I did get new glasses. I think she's probably the only person who's noticed. No, these are actually, my previous ones were purple. These are actually burgundy. Good eye, girl. Uh, so tell me what your life philosophy is. Like I offered my conclusion about all these classes you've taken. How
Yes.
what how and why do you do that?
Um,
Hi, Tony.
I'm really just looking for things that I'm interested in, and I like to learn about things, and try different things and see things in a different way. So one of the classes I took was again with my friend over like the pandemic. We got together. I'd moved away from Seattle, but we got together and kind of took this like major arcana of the tarot class together, and it was an artist who was leading it, and so we did like a um, exploration. But my friend wanted to like she was like, oh well, we'll do it as like the hero's journey and like relating the major arcana of the tarot to the hero's journey. It was really really interesting and fun, and just kind of this delving into understanding the tarot, but also like literature and archetypes and things like that. And as long as I feel like it's really relatable to helping me like understand people and life and characters, and I love to read, and so it was really fun on a lot of different levels. Plus, we got to make some cool art and meet and just kind of hang out um, like online like this a lot, and
Yeah.
providing
I
community. So
thought that
that
was
was great
beautiful.
for that.
I
Um,
thought that was beautiful. And you also did the one with the I don't know if you call them spirit animals, but I think like that's one thing that I want to know more about. I bought a damn book about it, but somehow I can't get into reading it. It's I don't know. It just doesn't appeal to me. But yet I love the thought of having a spirit animal. And you have a beautiful journal that you've begun following that um, interest.
Yes, and it was, um, and again, it was my friend who suggested this class, and I they had a lot of really interesting ways to interact with the animals, and they had like all these suggested ones, but I was really trying to get in and understand a lot about, and I've forgotten because this was like about 5 years ago, but with that particular class, it had like um, they all the animals were tied to like one of the different like realms, so like the overworld or the underworld, and they'd give you different blessings based on like the fear key, or which was the underground. um, and having followed that class and having relating it to like the tarot and like the overworld and the underworld and all these things was really interesting. Because you just learn to think about like things like light and dark as different, because you can look at them as like being good and evil, or you can look at them in like different lights. Like you can say, well, during the daytime you have very strict or very open building and straight linear masculine energy, and then the underworld is kind of softer and everything looks different in shadow, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like scary or bad kind of a way. And looking at these things and thinking about them in different ways like has really helped like me to think about things in different ways, see them in different ways, and express them in art in different ways.
Yeah.
So like, and just having like taking a class that like kind of introduces those kinds of ideas, I mean, it just kind of changes the way that you think about a lot of different things and about life.
The other, I think that I'm still talking about the same video. These were these works in progress.
The works in progress. Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
the book of quotes. Is that the one that started out as 120 feet?
Yes. It
120
was a
feet.
lot. There's a video for that that goes way back into like the beginnings of scrapcraft and stitchery, I think back in April. And that's actually where I met Mama Juju, because she
Oh,
like saw that and posted it on my like um on her channel, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, someone has like tagged me." And
someone found me.
I know, it was like, I mean, I felt like a celebrity, like I'd been found. And so thank you for that. And so that was really fun. But yeah, it took like, I mean, to make pages for that book was 120 feet of rolling pages. So
So was that based on the, of course I didn't see that original video, but is that based on that idea that Rachel from Roxy Creations has, where you just sort of build this huge long thing just by overlapping book pages and gluing them
I found
together?
it, yes, but I found it on Biddy Penny.
Oh,
So
well,
yes.
Bitty Petty is another name that we've learned here through
Yeah.
Gwen, I think. And I've reached out to her, and in the new year, we'll be talking to her at one point.
Right. So
Um, so, oh my goodness. So, okay, so what did you do then? Did you cut it up and bind it into like signatures or is it a concertina that goes from your place to the neighbors?
um so I made the pages. I'm looking around to see where it's at. Oh, it's just a journal now. Here it
Oh, so
is.
you cut it down.
Yes, I cut them down. And so it was like a big, long 100-foot scroll at that point. And it was 2 pages high. And so I cut them all in half and then cut them up. And so, but they're really just lovely, lovely pages. And they,
Yes.
are very
And
nice.
I think the premise there was that you were going to um, pick a quote
Mhm.
and decorate it accordingly, decorate the page accordingly, or decorate it and then find a quote that went with it. And I love that idea so much because I've been collecting words for as long as I can remember.
Yes, yes. But I got to the third one and it kind of emotionally stumped me. And so I haven't been back, but this was like this Eddie Hilsum page. And I was talking to Chat GTP and I was like, oh, I get so much out of doing some of these things and working with these quotes this way. So this was the one before it. And I just got stumped on the page and I didn't know what to do. And I was trying to make a video and the page was like, well, maybe why don't you wait? And I was like, well, I was going to post this on Thursday, but okay. Um, but so it like really had me slow down and I had to rethink like what I was doing with the channel, and maybe I made 2 videos for it and I was kind of like, I don't know how to finish this. And I went away and I came back, and I know this is what happens is you get stuck and then you go away and you kind of think about it while you're not really in the unconscious kind of steps in. And I come back and I'm like, oh, well, this makes sense. And so the page taught me this lesson that I wasn't really expecting. And so I'm like remembering, oh, well, slow down, because why are we doing this anyway? I do it to relax,
Yeah.
not to necessarily, right, be like anxious and trying to do 50,000 things. So I
Yes.
found this other quote about from Eddie Hilsum, who I'd never heard of, but it's sometimes the most important thing in a whole day is the rest we take between 2 deep breaths. But then I started to learn about Eddie Hilsum, and she was just so amazing as a person because she's basically like the same as Anne Frank. She was like living in Amsterdam and then she got shipped off to Auschwitz, but she left behind these beautiful journals. She wanted to be a journalist. And so it just became this beautiful story. And I did the watercolors because she had another quote about the mountain lupines and how they're so beautiful and they show the beauty of nature even when like life is very difficult. And so I painted these and put her picture in here. Anyway, it was just very touching and I got so much out of it. And I haven't felt like returning to this journal because it was just very heavy and a lot. So
I think that, well, number one, it's beautiful. And that obviously the lupins that you painted are beautiful. The story you just told is beautiful. I didn't know the woman either. And the spread before, like with the owl, you said that you kind of got stumped there. And I'm thinking, well, more of us should get stumped then because this is very beautiful. So maybe you need to just, um, I don't know, trust the process a little more
yeah,
and just, you know, I don't know what I don't know. I'm just
part of
talking here,
it's
but
just
it just seems like your reason. It's one thing when people express doubts and the stuff they're creating is kind of, mediocre or crappy. But if
uh-huh.
it's beautiful, then
Yes,
it there
no,
shouldn't
I
be,
mean,
there shouldn't be the doubts.
I agree. Yeah. It's not really
Uh,
doubts. It's just, like I said, there's like 50 things that I want to do. And
yeah.
so, like, this thing is like a little more difficult to come back to because of the like previous page and like, where do I go from here? And I don't have the answer right now. So I've kind of set it aside for now and I'm letting it. But anyway, I do need to get back to it. And so that's kind of, it's not like, I mean, I don't mean that to come across as like I'm like having these doubts. It's just I have so many things and I want
Yeah.
to, I mean,
Oh,
look
that's a
at like,
common affliction.
these are the things that I would really like to finish and are important to me. And
Yeah.
so how do I schedule them to kind of come back to them and return to those things?
Yeah,
because they are important to me.
yeah, I want to say hi to Brenda Clark. Hello, Brenda. Brenda was one of the early guests on the channel, or on this series. She lives in Alberta, as do I. Um, and then Jonna says, "What? You can talk to Chat GBT about stuff like that?" So
Oh
it
my god.
looks like you opened her mind to that. I didn't know that was possible either. And then Lisa said that she got a custom made journal from you and you're using it to create, and she's using it to create her favorite verses and how it impacted her life. It is her new way to journal while I read my Bible. Well, let me just take this moment to do a plug for our Sunday live called Bible Journaling Reset. And so uh, this Sunday on December 7th at 2 p.m. Central, Carol from Crinkled Path, Jonna from the Preppy Crafty Girl, Angela the Traveling Crafter, and I get together and do a couple hours live of Bible journaling. And so far, we've rotated the host from week to week or from time to time. And this has been going on for the last 5 months. And um, Sunday is Carol's turn, and it's going to be about Advent. So, if anyone has interest in that, be sure to join us. And um, it will be streamed to all 4 of our channels, so you can tune in on anyone's channel. Um, oh, and Teresa, honestly, Teresa, isn't she just my favorite? She says, this is why I call her hashtag Hazel Life Coach. Good advice giver.
Yes.
Okay, so Carol is saying, Lisa, are you coming to Bible journaling on Sunday?
That does
Okay.
sound like one of those wonderful community things that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Oh, and I forgot to say that Judy G is also from Alberta. And, can I just, again, I don't want to sound like I'm scolding anyone, but honestly, people, would you please check your email? I have been trying to invite some of you to be guests. And if you don't answer your email, I then resort to putting an invitation into a comment under videos, but I'm beginning to think people don't read their comments and reply to them either. So I don't know.
You'll send
Anyway.
Gwen out to get you. That's what happened to me.
Well, yeah, Gwen was our matchmaker. Lisa says, Hazel, your understanding and research before your interviews differentiate. Good stuff. Wait, does it literally? Okay, so answer this question. Does Chat GBT have a voice? Is it an audio thing?
I don't think so, but maybe.
So you verbalize the question and it writes you the answer.
It's all written, so it's kind of almost like a chat, like a search engine, like asking Google for something.
Oh, okay.
But you can ask it more complicated things.
Yeah. So I just back to that journal for a second. I think that if you feel stuck, another thing that sometimes I think can trick a person into whatever, a little reset, is to just, pick a page near the back or somewhere in the middle. And that way you don't feel like you're having to do it in a nice logical sequence.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Okay. I thought it was interesting too that, and again, I guess I glom onto these things because I don't do them myself. You did some, excuse me, I'm not sure which video. Maybe it was in one of those works in progress where you had done these intricate folds and these interactive elements. Like, have you ever shown the process of the folding and that in a video?
Yeah. I think that's in my playlist for the um, what am I calling that one? Um, the the non-vintage journal collage, the modern collage book. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I do a whole thing on it because that fold is really cool because you can use it to make a book, and I show that in the video too. And it's like, so it folds out into a star shape. It's very cool. It's hanging on my microphone, like right there, but I don't want to grab it because it'll probably make weird noises.
So maybe it's is it one of those things where you need a scientist's brain to be able to do the folds? Because some of us are challenged.
It's no, it's one. It's pretty easy. It's like if you've done origami and folded a crane, it's much easier than that. So
Okay, well then I might give it a try.
Yeah, you should try it.
I also wanted to ask you, and you're the first person I've heard say this. I don't know if it's a thing out there, and I've just been living under a rock. Compartmentalized crafting.
Okay.
Explain that to us all.
Oh, okay. This is not my term for this. This is Louise Hensel and Defemorember. That's what they're doing is compartmental making. And so people are asking them, is it just mass making? And I kind of understand it like in my mind, you're like making bins of things that are parts. So then you can assemble them later. So like you're making journal cards and you maybe need 5, like some people like to make their journals this way. And I've noticed this. But you might be making a fall journal. And so you want to have like 5 tags. Oh, Susan, I totally love it, right? She has her hashtag for the junk journal madness. So you're assigned to make like 5 tags and 5 things. And so you get those things and then you put them all into the book and then it's done. And so this is like on a smaller scale. Maybe you want to have one day you spend doing alphabet stamps and making like little letters and organizing those. And then maybe, so the way that I do it is make extra of something. So if you're stamping images, maybe you've stamped some extras of this stamp or things like that while you're doing it. And then you can save those pieces, and then you assemble the piece that you're making for your journal card or whatever. And you have a journal card, or maybe you make 5 journal cards that are all kind of the same. That's like mass making. I think you can kind of change things a little bit more. But I'm working on this term based on Louise Hensel, who has said, this is what we're going to do for Defemorember this year. And
I did notice that you're taking part in that challenge. I think that, and did you do Junk Journal January and Junk Journal July?
Well, I didn't do January because I didn't start my channel until the end of March. And I never really finished a whole challenge before, but I did finish the entire Junk Journal July. So for the first time
I think there's a benefit, especially for new channels, to get in on some of these really big, like these global events. It's hard to get noticed in those big things, but certainly I think if a person shows up consistently, there is a bit of name recognition that happens occasionally. So that's probably a good way to build your numbers as well. I think that most of us have probably done that, especially in the early days. But honestly, right now, I think my mindset has changed that I would rather do things with other small people who don't need my involvement kind of thing. They don't need the numbers. They don't need my help. They're already,
Yeah,
stars in their own right, and have a
for sure.
global following.
Uh-huh.
Um, so it's just, I don't know whether that's right or wrong. That's sort of how I feel. And that,
Yeah.
I think that's why I've also, with my guests, tried to invite big people and medium sized people and little people, because we were all beginners at one point. And how in the world do we build those connections and build those numbers if we don't know about each other?
Yes. I mean, and I'm going to say here that I've noticed that I have participated in a lot of these like big challenges and things. And a lot of like the people that I know who are kind of up and coming and channels that are smaller channels, that I'm kind of part of their crowd, are doing these challenges like Defemember. So you have this like kind of smaller community of people. And I'm actually doing Defemember with the ginger cat lady, Pam. I don't know if you've heard of her
I've
before.
heard of her, but she does a lot of lives, doesn't she?
She does lives in the middle of the night for you and me, yes. But she's on for a long time. And I try to go there because she has a really great community. And so I know that they're doing it too. And it's fun to play along on this like smaller scale, and like where you have like could talk to people about it. And so it's really
Yeah.
fun. But and so I have had a lot of like subscribers and had a lot of people come to my channel for, participating in those things, and they're fun
Yeah.
because, and it's a lot of work to do a daily challenge. Um, Especially because then I like shoot the video and I get really involved and want to do this really great page or, thing. But then I spend a lot of time editing because I want people to be able to watch like, 50 videos that people are putting out. So I try to keep the videos relatively short. So I wind up like doing a lot of editing on those on the other end of it. It takes a lot of time. And those are great and fun. And I love like prompts that other people have done because again, I love that because it makes me do something that I wouldn't have done by myself. Right.
Yes.
Yes. But also, when I put out a video, like some of my videos, like my most popular videos that have the most views are just things that I did, that I created, and and I get 15 subscribers from putting out one of those sometimes. And it's like that is really truly amazing to me because
Yeah.
those like I did. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's also very rewarding and fun.
So just back to this part-time job, is it 20, you said 20 hours a week? Is that like 3 days or something?
I
Or
do
or
5
do you
hours,
work?
like four
Okay.
days, so
Okay.
it's pretty
So it's a
flexible.
little harder to devote a whole day to your craft space, but still, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah. Um,
It's
I
not like 40 hours a week. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
You don't come home brain dead and wonder like, all I can do now is glue something to something.
yeah, exactly. Yes, watch
Um,
somebody else do something on YouTube.
yeah,
Um,
I think that there's, for people who have a hard time getting into their room or getting going, because as you said, there are millions of options and we all have more ideas than we have time or years, frankly, to accomplish them. So that's why I think that's one of the side effects, one of the benefits of challenges, is that hopefully it's contained, you know, and it's a reason to get on with it, do this
yes,
one thing, kind of thing.
yes. Um, it's very satisfying because it drives me. I don't know. It works for me. I'm really driven to finish. Where we've talked extensively about how sometimes I just kind of wander off and
Yeah.
don't finish. So, but getting a little bit of like, oh yeah, I did. When I did Junk Journal July, I finished every single one for like, the entire, I think it was 23 prompts. And I finished them on time. And that was very, very empowering, I guess. So
It's
it was
it
nice.
sounds it sounds like there could be a threesome between you, Lisa, and Jonna, because Lisa apparently is very close to Memphis as well. Anyway, she said, I think another good way is to get your journals on assignment. I think she means consignment in city shops with their themes. Tourists come and want a Memphis Blues journal. So there's a little marketing advice too.
I like that.
Yeah, that
I know a guy who buys a whole bunch of records all of the time. I could probably get some record dust jackets from him and use them to make journals, and that would be really cool.
yeah.
Yes.
And before we went on air, we talked about the Peabody Hotel in Memphis because that's where I stayed when we were there. Can you imagine if a person was able to get your stuff into like a hotel gift shop or something?
That would be awesome.
That would be.
Love that. Yes.
But then, I think for some of us, it's almost like selling your soul because then you have to keep that inventory coming.
Yes.
And I think that's also why a lot of people don't like doing commission work because we lose our artistic freedom at that point.
Yes.
It's do we want the money? Do we want the sale or do we want our artistic freedom?
I want both. Do I have to choose? I'll take both.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I thought that it was very interesting in one, I'm not sure which video it was. I had never heard this before about spritzing the page with water before you do the stamping. So you were getting kind of that aged blurry effect with, but I just didn't catch, was it distress oxide or distress ink? Do they both work equally as well?
I think you should try it. So to my understanding, the difference between the distress ink and the distress oxide is mostly the like distress oxide is more like a pigment. Is that right? But it's definitely more opaque. And I think you get more like color separation if you use water with it for the distress effect. So I definitely recommend like swatching these things out and doing a little test. But no, I don't know that I have seen anybody else do that, but I like to do it. So I talk about it in several different videos. But yeah, I think it's
and we can steal the idea.
Yeah, feel free.
Okay. If I smiled inappropriately there, it's because I noticed Jonna's text. Like I am going to be going to see Jonna in May. Hazel, when you come to visit, we will have to plan a play date with Lisa and Christina.
Hey,
wouldn't that be fun?
Very fun. Yes, I would love that.
And then Joanne is saying, Jonna, I think that's mother-in-law and father-in-law, used to live in Cordova, Tennessee, near Germantown.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
Oh, and Tony is saying that she thinks that both those inks work.
Yeah, that will definitely work with both of those inks. And it'll probably work with like, even still, like I have Stampin' Up! Classic colors, and I'm sure any water soluble ink, it would probably work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's the variables, of course, are going to be what type of paper,
yes,
how much water, all of that. So we
most recently, I think I was doing it on like a coffee filter. So, and I done it on. I had some like book page that was like really nice book page that I've done it on.
I lost track of. Okay, Lisa is saying. Yes, that's what I meant, Hazel. So I'm sorry, I've lost the thread of what you're saying there. Oh, and Trish is saying, well, if you're all in Memphis, I'm in Louisville, which is just only a 4-hour road trip. Oh dear. Okay. I also, just for people who maybe have been wondering, when is Carrie the Paper Monkey going to get on here? Well, she was one of the early people that I invited. I know that maybe some of you have been doing some unsolicited pressure directly to her. And she was saying, it's not Hazel's fault. It's all me. It's my schedule, blah, blah, blah. And we thought, I think in one of these interviews, we said, oh, we're going to make it happen in December. Well, I will just tell you that, we thought that if you put two good women together, we can make technology do anything. Well, sorry, I'm wrong about that. We try, and if anyone knows the answer to this, because it would also help Karamia, we thought that we could do a StreamYard recording. So, in other words, like a private meeting, and then somehow download it and turn it into a YouTube premiere. So it could air on a Wednesday, which is the regular day for this. Apparently, people can chat, but there's no way that we can figure out. And in fact, we did a 2-hour thing. And the reason I thought of that is because I wanted to ask you about audiobooks, because that was something that Carrie brought up. I love audiobooks. I have hundreds of audiobooks because when you live in the middle of nowhere and you spend quite a bit of time in your car, it's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So tell me what your involvement or preferences or whatever are as far as audiobooks go.
Okay. So I will talk about this way. So in 2017, my New Year's resolution was to read 100 books, because I was listening to some podcast and somebody was saying that they read at least 100 books on this podcast. It was librarians talking about books. And I was like, oh, I should do that. I'm going to read 100 books in 2017. And so I decided I was going to do that. And then I actually did it. I actually read 120 books. And this was when I was living in Seattle, and I commuted about 3 hours every day.
Oh,
Yes, traffic in Seattle is crazy, and I live north of Seattle and had to come into town, but I got to take the bus, so it was actually pretty relaxing, and I got a great deal of exercise that way too. I really enjoyed it, actually. So I found that I could get audiobooks from the library. So a lot of the books that I actually listened to these on audiobooks, and I did read some books because I love books.
yeah.
But a lot of them I just got from the public library.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that is that you don't have to actually return them. You get to borrow them for free, and then they just go away, and you don't have to really do anything. Some of them have to wait for and then put them in your queue so that you're reading them before they go away. But
so what genre do you like to read?
I really like historical fictions. I love that because I feel like I'm learning a little bit about history, but it's still exciting and in a story form about, I like, let's see.
How about thrillers and mysteries?
I read it all. So I'm pretty wide based. And so when I was doing 100 books, I would try and have a nonfiction book and a fiction book that I could listen to at the same time. So yes.
I can't believe I was such a snob at one point that I thought, how could we possibly ever waste our time reading fiction? We've got to learn, baby.
I used to read as a child, and I always gravitated toward fictions. It's just kind of like, tell me a story.
Oh,
Yes, but
see, Barbie says that she previously lived north of Seattle and she likes historical fiction too.
mhm.
Judy likes historical fiction also, and The Nightingale was one of her all time favorites. And then Joanne is saying the great historical novel is the other. Is it Bolin? Bolin, is that how you say it? Girl?
Uh-huh.
Boleyn.
I think I've read that one. I think.
And and wait, who is this? Oh, Trish is saying thrillers and mysteries are her favorite books. And of course, Teresa, who lives in the state of Washington, corroborated your opinion that Seattle traffic is bad.
Oh, it's
Bad.
horrendous.
It's
Yes.
horrendous.
Oh.
Uh, okay. So, talk a bit. Oh, and Lisa's saying that she loves your voiceover on your October series where you read.
Oh, did you watch any of those?
No.
Okay, the haunted sketchbook.
Oh.
Yes, that
You
one did.
know, I'm not quite the same fanatic about Halloween and haunted stuff as some of you girls like Gwen and Tony.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you about this. So this was really, really cool. So it was like this was hashtag Tony's October ATC challenge. Okay. And so it's a fall themed thing, and it's like a daily in prompt in October. And some of it's scary and creepy, and some of it's just like cozy fall things. And I didn't know I was going to participate, and I kind of jumped in at like the very last minute on October 1st. So like, I'm going to make a video and post it, and it was falling leaves, and so I decided on my way home the next day I was going to draw every prompt. Okay, and so I was going
You
along.
always set the bar so low.
Well, I didn't. I had decided last minute I was going to do this, and I didn't know if I had stuff collected to do a fall
Yeah,
challenge.
so I'm just going to
And
draw
so
it.
I was like, I'll just draw them. And I was going along, and I was like, okay, this is. And so I was also going to keep it really simple. Okay, I was going to do it really simple, so it's going to be like a 15-minute thing, right? Um, and then I started on around the 12th. I started doing these really complicated sketches, but this story started to evolve out of this. And so around the 12th, I started, because there was this letter that started to appear in these like drawings of like this fortune teller's room. And then it was in the forest with this like creepy doll on the forest floor, and the letter appeared there. And so this letter kept coming, like it had a message for me. And then, I mean, I kind of got pulled into looking for this message, and I started to get pulled into this other world every night looking for this message. And so it became this whole story about me traveling into this other world every night through my drawings. And it involved my cat, Nova Amberwild, and I had to learn how to cross over. And so, yes. And so this very simple thing that I was trying to do became this whole fantastic story that I just kind of followed along as, and it's part of it was from drawing every night, that this whole other story evolved and became very much. And then I started crossing over into this world, and things would happen. And then, and it gave me this vehicle for telling this other story that's really based about me having this conversation with like my 13-year-old self. That is a story that I kind of wanted to tell, and it's kind of cathartic about, like, I mean, how she made decisions and I've been living up to them, and like we've kind of reached this place where maybe we don't have to have these like rules that were set in place by my 13-year-old self. I can kind of break off, because she was kind of strict and being like, okay, well, you have to do this and you have to study really hard and you have to live your life this way. And it's kind of like, well, it's not really serving me at this point. So maybe, we should let you go do your thing. Okay. Anyway, so it was really kind of a wonderful story. And I don't know, it doesn't really come out in the story that much, but it's all there. So that was really cool.
Well, Tony,
but it's kind of fun.
Tony said that you did an amazing job at the challenge. And Teresa, who's Johnny on the spot here, has put a link into the chat for anyone who wants to follow up with that. Dawn is here. Welcome, Dawn. And then Lisa says the haunted. No, she says scratchbook, but that could be autocorrect. She says, I'm a Christian girl, but the way she reads the books and draws is so fun. So it seems like you're really developing a style of your own that it seems like you're doing things that others aren't.
I feel that way sometimes, yes. I am definitely sometimes I just kind of go off on my own and I.
So can I ask, are you a firstborn?
How did you know?
Takes one to know one.
I am definitely, yes, I am the oldest of 4 children. So, yeah.
And I have to ask my other standard questions. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I am definitely a strong introvert.
Check. And how do you feel about purple?
I love purple. It's my second favorite color.
What's the first?
Green.
Green. Okay. Well, they're, they work together very well.
They really do.
The other thing that I saw on, it was, where you were talking about audiobooks. I don't think that I have ever cut stamps out of fun foam. But I thought that you did those apples, and that I thought that was pretty cool. Did you just use one thickness of foam?
Yes.
And you found that it was stable enough to.
So I mean, I put them I glue them on. So I have repositionable glue, which you can get at the craft store, and I think mine's Elmer's. And so you can put that on the back and it just kind of makes it tacky. And so I just put it on, I have acrylic blocks that I use for stamps. But so that holds it in place. The other thing you can do is just glue it onto a piece of cardboard or just cardstock or,
Yeah.
Whatever.
I gather that Tony loves purple because I only see about 12 purple hearts in a row there. And Trish said she knew you were going to say green. And actually, Brenda Clark is saying fun foam stamps. And I don't know if it was a recent video of Brenda's or if it was an older one, but she did something very clever that I intend to copy. You know how we all have those little wood pieces that you can buy at the dollar store? Little letters, numbers, little tiny whatever, music notes or trees or flowers. She doubled them up and then put them on a base and used them to create a stamp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, the ginger cat lady is here. Her ears must have been burned.
Hi, Mom.
Christina, hey, just dropping in to say hi. I'm actually live with Di right now, so we'll be on the replay crew.
Thanks for coming, Pam. That is the problem. You come on right opposite of Di, so yes.
Okay. The thing that I'm getting about you, because of course, I think when a person I'm not saying I'm the only person to do this by any stretch of the imagination, but I think when a person watches people, cherry picks some videos on someone's channel to watch, typically drawn by maybe the title or whatever, trying to get a cross section, older ones, newer ones, whatever the reason. But I think when I watch, I'm watching for, I'm watching very mindfully and with the intention of, figuring some stuff out, maybe coming up with a theory, double checking with the guest when I get the chance and so on.
Yes.
One thing that I think I suspected, and I'm convinced now that I've had a chance to talk to you, is you're a deep person. You're a smart cookie. You have a broad range of interests. You don't do things halfway. And, and I forgot to say, I love your hands. You've got
Oh,
very lovely hands.
thank you. I will pass that on to my mother because she gave them to me. So,
Okay. So so we're at the hour and a half mark. We should begin winding down. Because you're a thoughtful person and I think you have a plan. What goals are you a goal setter, and have you set goals, targets, an overarching plan for 2026 for your channel, or are you going to be guided by kind of what happens as it happens?
Probably, well, I mean, half and half. I don't have a plan right now, but I have a plan to make a plan in the next, coming weeks. But also, I mean, the things that I've learned are to kind of listen to the lessons that I'm learning, right? Like the journal page telling me to slow down, to go away, to come back, and to really kind of embrace like slow crafting. And
Bye, Brenda.
to like with the thing with the haunted notebook, that was such a magical thing that happened. And I am super excited about it. And that's just, you kind of have to be willing and able to pick up these like creative things that are like, I mean, just kind of gifts that are coming to you. Yes. And take that idea and follow through with it. And so sometimes, other things kind of have to move to the side because you've decided to pick up this thing spontaneously and carry it through, because I didn't plan any of that. And it really became this kind of thing that I was like, because what happened is I kind of started to tell this story and it started to just kind of unfold, and I didn't know what was going to happen until I did the drawing that night. And then I'd make up this story and read the story and do the voiceover for the thing after I'd written the story. It became this big, huge thing for weeks and weeks. Now,
because let me interrupt you there, because I haven't seen it.
Yes.
Is that something that could translate into either an early reader or a young adult novel where you write the story and you illustrate it and you become rich and famous and then thumb your noses at all of us little people?
I don't think I could thumb my noses at any of you, because I think that everybody, that's another thing that like YouTube has taught me, that like everybody has such wonderful talents and they're so different. And so, I mean, you don't want to write anybody off, because there's just so many wonderfully talented people who are just so unique and wonderful individuals. So,
so that's your way of saying you're not going to forget the little people?
I will never forget the little people. I have thought about turning it into a book. I think it would be kind of an illustrated adventure book. So anyway, I need to kind of write it down and see how it goes. But that's kind of something I've put into next year because I'm taking a break from it. But I would like to do that next year. I want to start a class maybe that's like, anyway.
As a
I don't
teacher?
know. Yeah, as a
Or
teacher and teaching like art journaling.
okay. Okay, one, not that I'm necessarily cynical and suspicious, but there are people that steal ideas. So maybe
Okay,
you need to hide those videos if that could turn into something bigger. Maybe you
maybe.
need to hide the videos until you bring it to fruition, and then you can let them go public again. Because every so often, like, I try not to believe that there are bad guys out there, but
Yeah,
every so often, you hear about somebody stealing somebody's idea, like
sure. No, that
lock,
definitely
stock, and
happens.
barrel.
That could happen.
Um, so okay, so I think one of the things that you said is you listen to your gut or your heart and you plan. Do you have a practice where you spend time in silence so you can actually hear what it is that your heart and mind are saying? Because I think quite often we're so overstimulated, we
It's
could, the little guy inside could be trying to tell us anything, but we're just so
right.
wrapped up we can't hear.
Uh, I mean, I do think that I try to spend time every day writing or doing something creative. And that's kind of the way that I do that. Like I said, drawing every day or spending some time doing something creative. Um, and it changes over time. So it's not like one thing or another. But yes, if there's too much like input coming in, I can't hear myself think. And I know that I need to have a lot of time of just like quiet time or quiet time creating, and then these things kind of start to unfold and unravel, um, and I see what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, it doesn't really happen if like because I get stuck doing like doom scrolling through Reddit or even YouTube, and or just watching TV or whatever.
Yeah.
um but yeah, and different things have like done that. Like I mentioned knitting at the beginning of the video of the interview, and that was for a long time. I mean, knitting was that thing that was like giving me that like meditative repetitiveness that kind of lets
Yeah.
things unfold. Yes.
Everyone cringes when I say ironing is another good Zen activity. And then some women will brag, I haven't ironed since 1984.
But I mean, it's the nice repetitive thing that
Well, and you don't it just frees up your mind.
yes,
But yeah, I think so many of us bought the load of what, that we should all be multitasking, when in fact, and I used to pride myself on that. And then in fact, research has shown that multitasking is not great because you're not doing justice to either thing, or however many things you're trying to juggle. So when we're trying to, you know, watch everything, be everywhere, do everything, we're probably losing a bit of ourselves in the process.
oh for sure, I think so. At least be able to not multitask, right? Be able
Yeah.
to spend time just doing this one thing and doing it slowly. So I'm kind of like,
Yes.
I mean, slow crafting and watching for
Yeah.
things that come back all the
Yeah.
time, right? Yes.
Are you aware of Amy Maricle's channel?
No.
Slow drawing. Oh my goodness, is she ever good? And she has a lot of paid classes, but of course, a lot of free
Mhm.
stuff too. So, Teresa, if you could add her, Amy Maracle, Maricle, um, she's awesome. Um, okay, Retro Queen B Art is here. Now, she said that she's been watching in the theater crafting. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but Miss
I know.
Retro Queen B, I think her real name is Vicky. She's one of the people I tried to reach out to.
Oh,
no luck.
well,
Uh,
you should come on.
so
Send
people,
send Hazel
people,
an
people,
email.
people, everyone, from now on, we should probably be forcing people to give me their email addresses. Anyway, Teresa's saying I had to iron my grandson's suit pants and shirt with 5 minutes notice the other day. So I'm just glad that some people besides me still own an iron and an ironing board.
Yes.
So what?
Tunder is here. And I've also seen that Tunder was melting like plastic chip bags and things with her iron, and it was very cool. So don't get rid of your iron yet, because it is a craft supply. So yes.
Yeah. So see, and the problem is, unless I make it a point to make some notes, but then it's hard for me to keep talking and making eye contact and writing notes. Can you just repeat Tunder's channel, because that's definitely one I don't know?
I don't know
Or
off the top of my head. It's on my phone, and I
can
would
I
have to
just say that anybody who is new, would you just kindly, before we say goodbye, oh, Designs by Tunder.
Designs by Tunder, yes.
Oh, design, singular. What would you answer? Oh yeah. Jonna, who loves thrifting, had the excuse of having her sister visit, and they thrifted their way through, I don't know how many states. And she just ironed 5 loads of vintage fabric today.
That's
That
exciting.
she washed, that she thrifted. Hey, I didn't ask you the thrifting question. Are you a thrifter?
Yes. Not as much as I used to be, but yes. I love going, I call it treasure hunting, but yes.
Oh, and Dawn did some ironing as well. Okay, designed by Tunder. Now, so Lisa is Lisa Pruitt 8156. Designed by Tunder. Is there anyone else that I need to be aware of? Some of the other people who signed in early on that are your.
Curiously, Michelle.
Oh, okay. Seriously?
Curiously.
Oh, curiously.
Yes.
Because this is how I get my leads, you know. I love, like, I'm almost like a private detective from the 40s. This is how I get my leads, baby. So, before we wind up here, do you have any final things you would like to say, or maybe advice, since you're. Do you find that when you listen to other people's videos and they say things like, don't buy everything you see, shop your stash, you're more creative the fewer things you use. Do you take that advice at face value, or are you like the rest of us and you had to learn it the hard way?
So a couple of things. So I do think that like the fewer things you have, the more creative you have to be. And so, but I usually apply this when I find that this usually applies is when you're packing to go on a trip and everybody wants to pack their art supplies. And I think that like packing less, especially in that, like, I mean, when you have limited space and stuff, knowing what you want to do and then really just packing for that, so you don't have to pack like, you know, your entire art and craft supply thing. And you can, like I said, I mean, you really don't need that much to be creative. I mean, like some paper and a pencil and or a pen, and you can make some beautiful drawings. And so, and I do think that like drawing is a way to really unlock a different way to communicate things that maybe you don't have words for. So I definitely think that like really all you need is like a piece of paper and a pencil. And then the other thing is, the thing that really drew me to junk journaling is I remember when I was like 20 years old and I wanted to make books, and I bought a book about um, bookbinding, and it of course had in the beginning on the front part of it like all of these supplies that you have to have, like a book cradle and like
A
all
book press and
book presses. And I was like, it was very intimidating to me. I was
yep.
like, oh, I'm like, just starting out and I don't have money for all of these, things that I need to have. And now, of course, I make books out of like a cereal box and some like printer paper that's like I picked out of the recycling bin. And so um, that's what I love about junk journaling is it's just like really about using what you have. And I'm very fortunate to have like a whole bunch of like, art supplies that I've collected over many, many years and have them at my disposal. But really, I mean, if you're resourceful, you don't need like really much at all. Like, a
Yeah.
glue stick and a pair of scissors and, a nail for poking holes, and you're pretty much there, and you
Yeah.
can make a book and fill it up with like all kinds of creative and wonderful things that you can find if you just open your eyes and look around. So yeah, that's what I love. I mean, that really just kind of makes me super excited. So
Well, my dear, it has been a pleasure talking to you. And I'm so glad that so many of your peeps showed up to support you
yes,
and, interacted in the chat and gave us the opportunity to meet a few new people. Um, if somebody was asked me, well, Hazel, what do you want for Christmas? I would say, I want to get to 1,500 subscribers.
I was
So
yes, I was thinking that exact same thing this morning. It's like, just 500. 500 would be great. So
yeah.
come on
So
over, join me, and subscribe. That'd be great. Watch a video.
so hopefully, we've cross-pollinated some of our viewers and our friends, and it sounds like we have an in-person date for May, and I think that will be so much fun. Lisa is obviously very active in the chat, and she's
Yes.
said some, um, interesting things that I think,
I know
I'm
Lisa.
putting her on my short list for a future interview. Let's just put it that.
I know Lisa, so
Yeah.
yes.
Well, and I know Jonna from a distance, so I think we would have fun. Anyway, it has been an absolute delight, and thank you to everyone who was here and everyone who will be watching this on replay. I'll just remind you that next week is Junk Journal Joanne, so hopefully you can all come back again next Wednesday. And then the following week and the last interview in 2025 will be Barbie Daly. And she was here earlier. I don't know. Oh, she still is. This was episode 31. So when I think about the number of people, I was going to say women, but there has been a man. The number of people who have been, sharing the screen here with me have been incredible. So thank you so much to those of you who answer when I ask and say yes. It's funny. I think when I first reached out to you and you said, "Oh, yes, I'd love to be interviewed." And I say, "Okay, how about December 3rd?" And, oh, I thought sometime in March. See, Retro Queen Vicky. I'm not a Facebook person. And Joanne is saying, should she be nervous? I don't think so.
No,
Oh,
it's okay. I was nervous, but it's okay.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
okay. And once we got your mechanic, your
Yeah.
setup,
Well, I mean,
and
this was
let's
kind of
thank
one of
Bo
the
for
things that
doing that because
yes, this is not the usual setup, right?
yeah. Maybe what I should do in the future is below my name, put in my email address, and that way, nobody has to go down a rabbit hole. Although I will say, oh, okay, Vicky, my email address is in the description box under every single video, and I moved it closer to the top now so it's easier to find. Oh yeah, Teresa said that she did it and she doesn't have a channel. And yeah, Teresa's awesome. Thank you to the moderators and thank you to everyone's here and thank you, Christina. I will be watching your channel with interest. And if you think you have a lot of works in progress, you ain't seen nothing, baby.
Well, I keep finding more. That was not all of them. Those were some that I was interested in finishing.
Oh, and so Susan is saying that she's going to tell everyone to check their email on the next news. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that is true because I think a lot of people default to Messenger or Facebook or Instagram or something. And there's something private, secure, and reliable about email, but people have to check it.
I am going to start putting my email in my description box, in my video description box too, because that's a good idea.
Yeah, because you and I were talking about how hit and miss that little security I'm not a robot thing is that YouTube does. Yeah. It drives me nuts. Okay, Lisa is saying multitasking is multi, so I can be in many things, but I have to have focus on the times I spend on those things. Look at Big Rocks from Stephen Covey. Yes. Yeah. Was he the one that talked about big rocks and little rocks and sand? I don't know.
Oh, I remember that.
Now she's making me curious.
Yes.
Okay, guys, it's been a slice, and we shall see you next week. Thanks, Christina.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.